dear. No, go ahead. Like I will jump in when necessary.
So
we begin. Else is dead.
We begin once again where we left off with a dangerous encounter. But before we do that, we have to introduce our players. So we'll start from my left to right. So it'll be up. It'll be Rectus with Gar. Gar, could you introduce your character?
I'm wondering if I have you reversed. You said to your left and then pointed up at Robert.
Oh, I guess it'll be this way then.
That's it. I don't know who I have reversed and who I don't have reversed.
My screen looks to my left, but actually it should be my right. Anyway.
Yeah, see, I got Griffin between the pair of you, so.
I got you to the west.
To the west, yeah.
Oh, see, I don't even know if you're looking at Discord or not. I'm looking at the roll.
Roll 20
screen.
page. I'm looking at,
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that. So let's start with Gar. Your wants, flaws, and your type of character that you're playing.
Yeah, I'm Gar, the Turtle Wizard. There's nothing I like more than a good mystery. My ideal is self-improvement. My bond is that I sold my soul for knowledge, and I hope to do good deeds to get it back. And my flaw is that unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization.
Next up is Griff with Kicks.
Hey. I am playing Kix the Shield, the Dragonborn fighter folk hero who's cool and calculating. He's a hero who stands up to all challenges. Those under my command responsibility come first, and I have an immense ego and delusions of grandeur.
Then we continue on with Halpert.
Hey, I'm Halpert Knackle. I'm the gnome rogue of the party. I've got a joke for every occasion, especially when occasions where humor is inappropriate. Sarcasm and insults are my weapons of choice. I value friendship. Material goods come and go, but bonds of friendship last forever. I swindled and ruined a person who didn't deserve it. I seek to atone for my misdeeds, but might never be able to forgive myself, and I cannot resist a pretty face.
It's all very interesting. And we have another player, but since they haven't started playing, we'll make the introduction when they come in. So, Halpert, you roll for initiative. You're up first. You decided that you were going to run for the circle. You are running for the circle. Move your character into the circle, please. As you do, you disappear.
And deleted.
And you find yourself... I'm not going to go into another map. I know that you can do that.
How loud is the scream? Do we smell it when he shits his pants?
Wait, what's this scream? Am I in pain?
No, you're not in pain. In fact, you step in, and instead of you going somewhere, it seems like everything around you sort of disappears and becomes totally gray. And you start seeing, it's gray in a way that's sort of made out of mist and shadows and wisp. And you see, for example, sort of an outline of Kix getting ready to fight this giant spider. You can sort of see sort of the spider approaching across the mist. And you see in the distance an owl, and the owl is very bright. It almost goes between being an owl and being like a mode of light. And beside it is Gar, and Gar looks kind of dark in this sort of. But they're three-dimensional substantial forms, almost like the dust and the mist itself sort of takes these forms, and they act, and then they blend back again. So your companions are doing that. And but you do see that beneath you, there's a circle with symbols, and it's very bright, and so only one thing that it's emitting any light immediately. So we're gonna go with that. Next up is Gar. You see Halpert just ran into the circle and just went.
Right, the owl flies over here. Well, that's 60 feet. All right, just gonna do the assist action to give the next person advantage. Okay. And then I have too many windows open. I'm going to cast. Hold on. To see what the range is. Now that I know it's a little over 60 feet from where I actually am. Well, I guess it's going to be Chill Touch because I hit that button. Let me actually roll the damage.
DC Dexterity, right?
It's just an attack.
Okay. Oh, then 10 points to the spider.
No, that's an attack. It's an attack.
Oh, you missed. Sorry, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, I understand. We all got to get back into the swing.
I know.
First
but
5
you
minutes of the game.
You miss. Well, it says chill touch spell DC 13, but
It doesn't matter. I think that's
doesn't
just
matter.
because it says that on the bottom of every spell.
Yeah. You miss either way, so even with advantage, you miss. So it's time for the Space Spider. Space Spider was going after Halpert, but then turns around and goes like, "Oh, there's Kix." So it's gonna scuttle over to Kix. It's a giant
Wish the
spider.
owl.
Yeah, and it's just like it's gonna try to bite at you,
Okay.
and it misses. Like giant fangs try to go for your head. It's like again, you put the shield on. It's like no problem. So that's the face spider. Kicks.
All right. Well, I'm face to face with it, and have at you, demon. 1 second. Gotta actually talk to people there. Okay, let's go ahead and swing my sword. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spend advantage. Spend my inspiration. Let's do it.
Oh, that's a hit.
Hey, it wasn't necessary. That is still a nice, meaty 12-point hit right there.
It is, and you basically almost take one of its strong legs off with that hit.
Yeah, as it tries to step on me with it, I just slice at it. There we go. Good start.
And I'm gonna put a person here because again, I don't wanna divide the map. So I'm gonna jump here. Put you right here. So you Brave, you can roll initiative. Click on your token and roll initiative for me, please.
I didn't realize I was muted. Okay.
I was wondering if you knew your character's name yet.
Yes, of course I did. I'm clicking on it, but space D20 -1 is the initiative, so
it should be on the cheats.
If you use the sheet to roll it, I'll do everything on the game. So you want to use the sheet.
okay.
You don't want to roll by hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh goodness, this is very
But
convenient.
you also need to make sure. Okay.
So that worked.
Oh, it did indeed.
Oh goodness, this is like newfangled technology. Go ahead.
Okay, and I need to do that. So, Halpert, you hear and you see among the wisp, you actually see a solid figure, kind of wandering around. It's like, Wraith, describe your character. You've been stuck in this, gray area for you don't know how long. All of a sudden, you see the circle that you came in much earlier when you were exploring this area. And you basically did the same thing the Helper did. You saw the spiders, like, oh, I gotta run, and you ran for the circle, and you sort of stepped outside of the circle because you were trying to find a way out, and then the circle flared up again, and you see this gnome standing in the circle, and then you're there, that you see each other. So, Brave, describe your character.
Okay, you see a really tall, like human. Looks older, kind of weathered in the face, like early 50s maybe. He's wearing some pretty old chainmail armor. You see him adorned with several vestments. They look like little mini like flares and trophies that come from some sort of religion that maybe or maybe you don't recognize. And he has a large great axe strewn on his back at the moment, strapped to his back at the moment. Do you want me to go through like the personality traits, or we're doing that later?
Do that, yeah.
I'm sorry, say that again.
We'll do that later.
Do that later. All right. So that's basically what you see. You see a big, tall human.
Halpert, describe your character.
What you see before you is a shriveled little gnome of a man with darting eyes and big ears. He's nimble, scrawny, short, even for a gnome.
Okay, so yeah, Halpert, you're still standing in the circle. The circle is still active. to you. I mean, it's bright. You don't know exactly any magic. So you don't like, whoa, seems to be working. But aside from that, you don't know what to do. So you're in 20. So I'm going to do very quickly. You go in 22, so you have a chance to act, move, talk, etc. You can see the action around you, but you see it as sort of like these figures: the spider, Kix, Gar, the owl, sort of coalesce in the forms of smoke and mist, and they do something and then they disappear again. So what are you going to do, Halbert?
Do they stick around long enough for me to poke one?
No, they don't.
Okay. I'm going to call out to the human. Hey! Hey there, human! What you doing here?
Who the heck are you?
I'm Halbert Knackle.
Are you rescue? Were you sent by the guards? Were you sent by the army?
I tell you, there was this big old spider, and I just ran, and I stumbled into this circle, and now I'm here, and there's still the circle, so I think we can get back, but I don't know nothing about no army.
How long has it been? Has the Empire gotten stronger?
Well, maybe. Which empire?
The what is it? The Pomarge? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
The orcs. Those guys.
Ooh. Maybe I should just go.
Looks like you need help. All right, you said there's a way out of here? I've been stuck here for who knows how long.
Don't know if it's the way out, was the way in.
Okay. Well, let's go. And I grab my great axe off of my shoulders. And I said, show me the way out.
Gonna stamp my foot. Just gonna kind of look at the circle at my feet and shrug a little bit.
I've tried that. That doesn't work.
I tell you what happened with you, Wraith, was that you step in the circle, you stepped out, and it went dim. So you've been, without a point of reference, you don't know how long you've been here.
It's like obscuring almost, right?
Yeah, you've been running around. You don't know if it's a small space or a big space. You've been running around who knows how long. And the strange thing about this place is that you don't feel hunger or thirst or a sense of time passing.
Yeah.
So in many ways, it feels like when you stepped in the circle was a long time ago, but then it just feels immediate as well as just like you stepped in and then Halper just no device app just came in after you, like moments after.
Oh, it's like 10 seconds later. Okay.
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell which time it is. So if you can make it a religious check or a.
I would like to do a religion check if possible on that. I guess I just click the button, right?
Yep.
I don't know which number it is. I guess it's the 12 total. The 7 then.
Unless you have advantage. Second one is for advantage.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
First one is for a normal roll or disadvantage.
So I have a 7.
You're somewhere that is not the mortal realm, right? That's on this circle. You do recognize the circle as some kind of summoning circle, but usually it just summons creatures. For some reason, it sort of becomes sort of perhaps a portal, perhaps because whoever created it, kind of left it open. So if you could try to translate what's going on, right?
Can I do an Arcana check?
Yes, you can. Yeah, I know you heard about stuff like this before.
It's a circle.
It's a circle, yeah.
Circles are round.
You said like a translation of some kind. What do I recognize the language at all?
No, I mean you speak Common on Orcish, right? No,
yes.
You don't recognize the language. It's clearly not a work of the orcs. Okay, so while you guys are figuring that out, Gar, let's pop over to Gar. Spider's still there, wounded, and still going after Kix. What do you do?
I will do the assist action with the owl again. This time I will, since it moved closer, Ray of Frost.
That's a hit.
Are you playing cards over there?
No, I'm trying to fix it. so now it doesn't exist
Oh,
anymore.
now it's listed
There
as
you
a
go.
weapon. What are you, Remy LeBeau? That's right. This is an
No.
X-Men call out for you fans out there.
No,
So
I'm just fixing the sheet. We'll do Remy another day.
okay,
That's
8
8
points.
damage,
Yeah,
and it's slowed by 10 feet.
yeah. It's basically not going anywhere. So that's it. The face spider. It seems partly frozen with the ray of frost. It's still snapping at kicks. It's like it's angry and just wants to snack on somebody before it expires. So bite attack. That's a miss.
Yeah, not on a 12. Just hold up my shield.
Yeah, kicks. Your turn.
Hey, well, I got a sword in the other hand. Let's go ahead and swing it. This gets more interesting at level 3, I swear.
Ooh.
Hey, nice 25. Almost at the crit, but still only 8 damage. Still a good hit.
Yeah. That's enough. And that's enough to kill it. It was big, it was scary. And as you kill it, it kind of dissolves.
hmm
And now Halbert, it sort of does the thing where Eggs inks and another sort of goes on its back. And Halbert and Braith, you actually see this spider physically in this great space. But it's dead. It's like ichor is just pouring out of it.
So it's in like not one of these dust sparkly creations, but is in the actual material manifestation of this spider.
Yes.
We're in face space.
You're that episode of Star Trek where Geordi and the Bajoran are both think they're dead for a little bit.
That's a very deep cut, sir.
Or that episode of Star Trek where Ensign Broccoli decided that he was afraid of transporters and got stuck halfway through.
Oh yeah, the one with little snakes that are flying around. That for
Yep.
some reason he can see moving around in microseconds.
Or the other episode, basically this is a recurring
You mean where
story.
Geordi sees his mother through the transportation device with the
I'm
ship that's
sensing a
stuck in?
pattern. These transporters seem like more trouble than they were.
I mean, it's better than the simulation room.
The
They just
holodeck?
made you
Oh,
break.
Yeah, whatever the hell it's
Well,
called.
you mean the danger room from X-Men, where it's
the
literally
same
supposed
thing.
to fight you.
But
It's
that one's
literally-
made to kill you, so it's doing things as intended.
Yeah.
It's not breaking.
yeah, the holodeck is just constantly
holodeck just
breaking
break-
down.
Look, we're just gonna take the holodeck and we're gonna give it to the SWAT team, and that way it'll do its job right.
All right, we see like the phase spider. We see it bleeding all over the place. But we see it clearly, but everything else is still obscured.
Yeah. In fact, now that nobody's making major moves, you kind of see this sort of at times the shimmering outline of Kix, which is nearby.
Well, time to destroy the circle.
Yeah.
Let
I see no harm in this.
me see. What can I do? See, the religion. Let's see.
I'm gonna start yelling out for red. Red! 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 Red!
Versus
It
blue.
echoes in this space, but we have,
I don't know what happened to them, but you know what to do with that better than I do. I'm going to.
I tell
around.
the halfling. I tried that too. When I first got in here.
I'm casting
Honestly,
it as a as a ritual. Oh, actually, no, I don't. I can't. I cannot do that.
why not?
Components still exist, and I do not have a pearl worth 100 gold.
Do you have 100 gold? Do you have 100? Okay, let's say if you have 100 gold pieces.
I do not care to spend 100 gold pieces on a circle.
Well, then do an Arcana check then.
I don't think you. I think for the 5th edition version, you don't actually lose the pearl anymore. You just need to own a pearl.
There is a difference between one that says it needs an object and one that says the job is expended. I just don't remember which one this is. There's always the possibility that I copied it wrong.
Speaking as the guy on the other side of the circle, let's find out, shall we?
Well, again, I do not care to spend 100 gold pieces on your ass. So,
I'm just watching Gar have a
Anyway,
fight.
how much is a human life worth? Less than 100.
It's not a human life, it's a gnome life.
Oh, so about half as much.
Yeah. Well, technically, I guess a little bit more, like half a foot. I think gnomes are taller than halflings. Like, actually, no, halflings are taller. So yeah, less than half.
A third. Gar, you recognize it as a summoning circle. But normally summoning circles they bring things in. So whoever created the summoning circle either left it open more like as a door to keep bringing more stuff in, right? So it's a permanent circle.
It's a reverse summoning circle. It's a beckoning circle.
Could be. It has been modified to keep bringing more and more creatures from wherever it is. From that role, you know that they're coming from. At least this creature came from the ethereal plane.
Okay, so they could just come back
if they knew how to work the circle.
All right, I will write in comment on the ground, "Come back," and I'll draw a little arrow pointing at the circle.
Yeah, that doesn't. You see Gar, like again, the wizard Gar doing something on the ground, but again, you know.
Well, if I'm drawing it on the ground, assumedly in the ethereal plane, they would see the words in the dirt.
Because
the dirt would be the same.
No, it's a different plane. No.
Well, it's a different plane, but it's on the same plane. You know how there's different planes, and like the abyss is a different plane, but this is a plane that exists at the same plane that ours is.
It's conterminous that is connected to it, but it's not superimposed.
The same way that they're seeing the same cave that we are in.
They're not seeing the cave. They only see you move, and they saw the spider.
Oh, you're talking like we're in the mist.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I still do that because I already declared I'm doing it.
I mean, you know you can. It's a summoning circle. You just can summon them.
Sure.
While he does that, may I inspect the spider just to see what it is? You know, like like is that like a perception roll or something?
Yeah, it's right there. You can just move in.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it. I see what killed it. You know, I wanted to see like where this thing came from, if it's familiar, all that type of stuff.
It's a very large spider.
Yeah.
Coloring of it is weird because usually white and blue. It looks like some kind of a winter creature, but clearly this is a creature of another reality. Which reality, you have no idea. Because you failed a religious check. So
yes, I know. That's the problem.
Yeah. You know you're in a strange realm, but it could be so many things, right? In a magical world. You know?
Failed your religion check. What does that have to do with religion?
So I go to the halfling and I ask, you're not alone, I assume. You have others on the outside?
Yeah, there's a couple on the other side. Can see them there. They're the ones swirling around in the mist.
How many do you have? And does anybody know how to cast magic?
There's two of them over there, and I'm pretty sure the turtle knows how to cast magic.
Can I make a quick argument here? Now I don't know that they can see us, right? But you've described that they can kind of see us. Could they not make a perception check to make out what I'm doing with my hand? You know, he's doing a C. That looks like an O.
Yeah, basically what it looks like is it's like somebody taking an air writing and doing like this. Yeah, it doesn't.
Right, but I'm doing it like I'm digging it into the ground, so I've got to be doing this like I mean, you could read that on the camera. If they were actually paying attention, they might be able to see.
I'm far too distracted trying to figure out what to do with the circle to be paying attention to what your ass is doing with your hands.
They might figure out that you're trying to write something, but again, whatever you're writing has no permanence here, so the moment you do a sight, it's like, unless they, can read body language.
Well, that's what I was saying. If like a perception check would allow.
Yeah, no, it would be very difficult to do so.
Yeah, that's.
They know that you're doing something, but no, yeah. Like I said,
okay.
But I guess since the other side is arguing against it too, then I guess I don't give a shit either.
Again, like I said, you know that you can at least summon Halford. Like literally, you can just summon him. You know his name. You can just call him forth.
What's your name, human?
You may call me Braith.
Nice to meet you, Braith.
Well, now that Albert knows Braith's name, it's time for me to leave.
I take it that you are not part of the army.
No, I'm not really much of a soldier, me.
Then what are you doing here? Just adventurers?
Got drunk, woke up with a couple of rowdies, now we're here. Thought we'd have a good time. How about you?
Scouting mission. I was with a small group of contingents trying to cleanse and clear this place.
Cleanse and clear it of what?
The creatures that are in here. By the way, I don't know where we actually are, so please help me out here.
Yeah, you basically moved to Narwhal and heard about problems that they had, and one of them was that they were supposedly an abandoned mine. It's like an Iron Man. It's like, oh, if you can get hold of an Iron Man, that's a good way of making weapons, etc. So it's like, off I go.
Yeah.
You figure, it was being abandoned for a while, unless you find orcs, something like that. If you found too difficult situation, you just come back and get more reinforcements. But when you went in, you got ambushed by spiders, and it was like, oh, well, they drove you deeper and deeper into the mine until finally, when you met this giant spider that came out of nowhere, literally appeared, you're like, okay, I got to run, and you ran into the circle, and oops.
Works for me. I say this mine, it would be very useful as a strategic resource for our efforts against the Empire.
Braith, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What year is it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
What
It's
year
the year
was it?
600 common year.
I would assume. All right, how do I answer this now?
Well, what year was it when you came here?
Can you give me a minute to think about that? While I think about this, because I actually have to consider that.
While you're thinking about it, this is a lot like a Star Trek episode.
I know, right? That's where it came from.
Where they get stuck in the time loop, and when they get back out, Kelsey Grammer is there with the captain of a starship.
Star Trek episode, Gar, why are you playing that flute now? It's so out of character for
It reminds me of my kids and that, solar explosion that they died in.
So what are you going to do, Gar?
I guess I'll summon Halpert back.
How about you start hearing your name, and it's like, what?
Carol Ann! Come towards the light, Carol Ann!
You appear here.
Awesome.
And then we left.
Yeah, hey guys, how's it going? What happened?
Well, you stepped in the circle, and I was fairly certain that you probably died, but Gar didn't want to give up on you.
Aw, thank you, Gar.
Well, what can I do? You're my best friend, after all. The last two died.
That's so sweet.
I killed them by accident.
Oh.
Oh, what a hazardous relationship we have around here.
Yeah,
I guess at least we have everybody here now.
Yep, this is certainly everybody. Certainly there's no one left, so let's leave. I think we're done here.
Probably.
All right, let's go.
I have an answer for you, by the way, but as I'm about to tell you, you disappear. So I'm like,
Hey, do I know how to activate a summoning circle?
I mean, no.
It seems like if we're going to pull this Dickinson, the first thing you should have done after hearing he had like 80 gold pieces was to pickpocket him and then run for the circle.
Well, there was another guy on the other side of that thing. I mean...
What? Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm 60 feet away from you now.
Well, it's been a fun adventure.
Are you talking to yourself over there? I thought we were leaving.
Kicks, you're there.
Where the door is.
And Halpert steps out of the circle, watching because Ray joining.
Hey guys, there's a guy in there.
It's still active, by the way.
I do have a question though.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little circuit around the place. Is there actually anything of interest, like in this cavern in general, like items that are like on map? Okay, so it's just kind of like a bare open mine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Halpert, what was that you just said?
There's a guy on the other side of that circle. He's a little bit weird though.
Are you sure it's not a spider in disguise?
No, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to take that chance.
Sounds good to me. Well convinced.
What is this guy on the other side? And I guess more importantly, where exactly were you?
I don't know.
They were in the ethereal. He was in the ethereal plane. Did I not explain this to you as I was chanting?
No, I kind of didn't pay attention for a little bit.
That's the
but
hero
I
we
guess
all
if they
know.
were ghosts, I was kind of right.
No.
I was a ghost?
No.
Pretty sure.
No.
Lessons, I sent you a private message real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I hope that message is on the lines. Can Braith break through the other side by sheer willpower alone?
Look, if you leave him there, I'll just make a new character. I don't care.
I want to
Ju-
break through the other side like Boo broke through the time
Yes, we
testing
have
chamber.
Draith now.
Okay, no, seriously. Are you gonna leave?
This episode is going to be just memes and references.
So are you leaving, or am I going to get out of here?
I guess.
No, we're trying to draw him back.
Okay.
Well, it would seem to me that if this creature is not a normal spider and perhaps also related to the ethereal plane, maybe it was keeping them there as a snack.
Or maybe it's a spider in disguise.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and I already defeated one giant spider, which is more than I ever expected.
Good God. The problem here is that we've left Kix to be the guy who's like the good voice, and Kix is the most annoying person ever, so it's like the thing I don't want to do.
Oh, goodness.
And Halpert is the one giving me the advice to leave, and it's like, Halpert is the good guy advice too.
Why do I have the feeling that me and Kix are going to get along quite well?
You probably will. Most people do.
Agar, do you think you can summon this other person?
Here, okay, I have a quick question. Lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think I could activate it from the other side?
Ooh.
I mean, you know the nature of the circle, yeah.
All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
He just boops straight into the circle.
Yeah,
It's like, I didn't expect
I walk
that.
back into the circle because I'm not going to bring something forward that could be a danger. So I'll just walk in.
And you walk in, and basically you bump into this person because it was standing like, look.
How tall are you?
Well, it doesn't really matter how tall I am. I'm also 450 pounds.
I feel it then. So
Saying nobody's knocking me over by accident. I think it goes the other way.
Also, you realize they must have somebody or something must be standing in the circle because the circle didn't turn off the moment Halpert walked away.
I look at the turtle. I say, "You must be the turtle that Halpert talked about."
It's Turtle.
My apologies. I'm not too familiar with yourselves. You may call me Braith.
Well,
Is there a way
I'm
out
only
of here?
one person.
Is there a way out of here?
That's suspicious. You ask everybody you meet how to get out. You know who else does that? Prisoners.
I assume you're not with the war effort either. Is that correct?
Sure I am. Which war?
The ongoing conflict between the Orc Empire. You probably have heard of it. It's in this region.
Which Orc Empire?
Pomage.
Sorry, is it the Northern Orcs or the Southern Orcs?
It'll be decided. I don't know. Yeah.
It would be the ones down south, the ones that invaded the Jewel River. I think like 2 years ago or something like that.
Sorry, I'm from the North. I'm not from the South.
Ah, well, I don't know who you are. Other than what's your name exactly? I don't believe you told me.
I did not. What is your name?
My name is Braith.
Ah, yeah, as you said.
Yes. I really would like to get out of here, please. And unfortunately, my prayers to Cord have not given me sufficient strength to break through.
Yes,
so
where is your god now? Do you have any form of identification?
All right, have you heard of Braith the Butcher?
Wow, that's not a nickname you want to share, is it? You know
It's
who
a
else has
nickname-
nicknames like that? Prisoners.
I wear that name with distinction, whether or not I agree with it, sir.
I mean, it is very distinctive. Mass murderers have nicknames like that.
Guard, you have history? You training history?
I mean, I have intelligence.
No, just not exactly the same thing.
I mean, I could also
do,
show
actually.
you. I can
Okay.
show you other
I'm not
things
good at it,
too.
though, apparently.
No.
And we're right back to rolling doubles of the same.
Yeah.
What else can I show you? You're asking for ID.
Here's the
Probably
thing. I
not.
thought soldiers had...
I do have an insignia of rank, and you see that.
I mean, I assume that's a form of ID, yes.
Yeah. But it's on me, like my person. I point to it as I say Braith the Butcher.
That is very concerning. Why do they call you Braith the Butcher? How many towns did you slaughter?
I'd rather not discuss that right now.
So there are more than one town. You've slaughtered more than one town.
As I said, it is a nickname others have given me.
That you have embraced. If others gave it to you, you didn't like it, you probably wouldn't share it so, forthwith.
Why lie about something?
Because nobody else knows it. It's just you and me.
You are a very unusual person, you know this?
You, Braith the Butcher, are telling me that I'm unusual. You understand that makes you sound like a war criminal, right?
Yes.
Are you a war criminal? That's the next question.
No.
But you accept that you sound like a war criminal.
Yes.
And you want people to think you're a war criminal.
What people think of me is their own personal business, sir.
Not really. Okay, you understand. You're standing here on the ethereal plane, trying to get home again, sharing that you sound like a war criminal, reveling in your own nickname, telling me that it doesn't matter what other people think, while asking for help.
Well, I guess in that way it does sound quite suspicious, doesn't it?
It does.
But...
literally, this sounds like a trap.
I'm sorry you feel this way. All I can say to you is, you have my word, it is not one.
Alright, you just wait right here for a second. I'm going to go back. I'm going to talk to my people that I travel with about this.
How do you actually get back?
Yeah, you just wait right here.
And then Gar can't get back.
Well, no, I already did this. That's why I asked before I came in here if I knew how to get back. Yeah, so I come back out. I think that guy is a war criminal.
Well, who is he?
Braith the Butcher.
Wait, Braith the Butcher?
Yes, he's apparently slaughtered more than one town.
You're from this area. You can, both you and Halper can make an intelligence check.
15.
History check?
Yeah.
By the way,
that you rolled before you could even hear the conversation.
Yeah, I just preemptively did because I'm like, if it comes up, maybe we'll see what I know.
Just out of curiosity, by the way, since he's a folk hero, do I actually know what that is, who he is too? Because I'm technically from this area for a while.
Yeah, but you're like 300 years from the past, though.
You're here.
Oh, not that far from the past.
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. Sorry, I forgot what year you said you were from.
I didn't get a chance to yet, but I double checked with lessons on what it could
lessons.
be. Yeah.
So I just assumed you're hundreds of years ago.
You heard
That's what it feels like, right?
You heard of Braith Butcher. There's a reason why they call him that. It's not the obvious reason that he decided to go out to butcher people, but rather
his former job was a butcher.
It was because he was an officer of the Greyhawk militia who has volunteered to do raids into Orcish territory. And the strange thing about it is that some people believe that he's a hero because on the defense, when the orcs attack, he's been very effective, healing, fighting, etc. But every time he launches a counterattack or is part of it, things don't go as well. Right? They fail. Right? The huge numbers of the orcs means that
Braith butchered of his own men. Oh, now I remember.
And so you know that, so some
like
people
that,
hold him as a hero, some people hold him as a villain, some people,
It's like that part of Gangs of New York.
It's still worth a little bit of a snicker that with this history that when he went on a counteroffensive against spiders, he also ended up like this.
It's almost as if
ran-
it was-
Sorry, Robert.
Dude, you ran like a gnome.
in my defense, I didn't know it was there, but you can't hear me say that.
Yeah. In
Well,
fact,
also, you
again,
can't hear us say that to have a
I know.
defense.
I know.
you see them sort of gesticulating in there. One person
I guess the real
appears.
question is like, how far is he displaced right now?
Time-wise?
The circle is so brilliant, so it's
Well, no. I mean, I think he's asking how far back in history is he?
recently. I mean, he met him
5 years, 10.
No, he I'm recently. He's about a year or so ago,
Well,
maybe a couple of years at most.
So literally, he's not really history. He's like,
So this
Oh,
is
man,
like a
what did
missing persons case.
yeah, this is more like, where did I put my keys? Let me roll history.
Yeah, I'll just be like, he's been missing since last year. And he's just been here the whole time.
Got a girl knocked up and didn't want to deal with it, huh?
I thought you meant when you said recently. I thought like custard was to us, not like Trump was to us. I don't know.
What?
Wow.
Look, man, you're not a
Part
good
of the
person.
distant past, yeah.
Oh goodness.
But the guard, he's a member of the guard. What are you doing saying you're not going to bring him back?
Like I said, he sounded like a war criminal. He came off like a prisoner trying to talk their way out of jail.
I understand, Gar, you maybe aren't from this area and are not intimately
I want to
familiar
say
with
before you
every
start
single
talking down,
military officer
before
of
you
ours.
start talking down to me, that's not the way to get what you want, Kix.
Then let me try another way. Gar, pretty please.
What?
That was as different as I could possibly think. I'm not sure what other angle to take.
Hey, Gar.
Albert, help me out. What do I do to ask people to do things that isn't the ways I've already tried?
Be someone else.
Oi, top of the morning, I'm Albert. Could you go ahead and let this guy out already?
I don't even know what accent you're attempting.
Was that supposed to be me?
Oh
A
my
little
goodness.
bit.
Oh my goodness.
Well, did it work?
Just
Right.
the only like
Gar, if you don't help him out, Red's never gonna shut up.
All right, well, on that basis alone, I call out Braith's name.
and you hear your name and echo through the space, and then you
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
Firmament.
I
And
love that the only reason I'm saved right now is because they don't want Kix to be annoying.
Well, no, that cannot be helped. We don't want Kix to be more annoying.
I see.
We don't
So-
mind him being annoying. We don't want him to be audible.
Very well.
So there's at the end of the cave. There's a rope hanging out. From,
Yeah.
Just drinking a
So-
drink.
So now I see all three of you, I assume.
Mhm.
and the owl.
And oh, there's an owl. Okay. And then I guess I would say thank you. I apologize if I gave you any misgivings, Mr. Gar. You said your name was?
No, actually, I never introduced myself. It's strange
Mr.
how you know my name all of a sudden.
Mr.
Like some
Turtle.
kind of war criminal.
Yeah,
Mr.
at the
Turtle.
very best, deserter, I would think. If you're part of a war effort and you've ran into these caves and hidden in here for a year, I believe that's desertion. That is a war crime. You are
I
a
know.
war criminal.
Oh,
Take him back to the rave.
I let me retcon that real quick. I apologize, Mr. Turtle, if you feel that I was untrustworthy, but I do appreciate you letting me free.
I mean, you're the one who's going to have to explain your absence for last year during a war.
Last year? What year is it?
Well,
Oh,
I'd probably take whatever year you think it is and then add one.
Has he been missing since last spring?
it's not 599.
Well, again, I'm pretty sure desertion is a war crime.
I have to report. Who is currently in charge of the garrison? Does anybody know?
The commander.
That would be the Reeve.
The Reeve.
He's a good friend of mine.
I just got to pick up his name again.
Reeve is the NPCs.
Oh, the
Sure,
NPC list. I should
Alchemist.
probably check that.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah. Ellison Devon.
Ellison Devon, yeah. Would you know him?
I think. Oh, okay. That was actually my next question.
Yes, I think he was saying the Headhunters had all basically slowly gone missing or left the region or died, and I think you were among their number.
No, what happened, Headhunters, was that the general in the area basically sort of recruited them to become his personal scouts because he's building up his forces, right? So basically left Narwhal without any of them. It's like, oh, hey, you know how to the region. Okay, here you are. We're just recruiting you directly. It's like, what? And it's like, so he's rebuilding the Headhunters. Break, you know about the Headhunters? Headhunters basically were a volunteer organization that would hunt down. They would work with the militia and the army together in the sense that they would be the one hunting the bandits and stuff like that, and leave like the large skirmishes and battles to the militia if it came to them, right? In other words, dealing with problems before problems needed to have an army come up. So that's what they were doing. So when they mentioned Headhunters, you're like, oh, they're at it again, or they were active,
I say, I guess.
Again.
Are you the one in charge of this company? Looking specifically at Kix.
Various levels of in charge.
He's actually a new recruit.
You may have noticed by the fact that Gar spent several minutes talking to you in another dimension and did not come back immediately. He's got a habit of being a bit wordy. And Halpert is Halpert.
Basically, no one listens to Kix.
Kix is the new recruit.
But this is good news. There's someone who actually respects order and structure and will listen. This is wonderful.
And what is your rank?
Well, I'm a hero.
That's not a rank.
It's true. I'm not exactly a part of the formal military structure or anything, but I am in fact a professional hero.
What is your name?
Professional pudding.
Kix the shield.
All right. I guess I roll history or something on that one.
History, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard of you.
I do. Yeah, I do
Well,
enjoy
you
that.
have now.
Failing history means you haven't heard of them, which is great.
But I have heard of him. No.
You're hands down the worst pirate I've ever seen.
But you have seen me.
You have seen me.
I do like how I quoted it wrong. We all went with it.
We're all terrible.
I say I apologize, Kix. I do believe your reputation does not precede myself.
Well, and I'll go ahead and step up and clap my hand on your back and start walking you away with me. Well, we got plenty of time for me to tell you about how great I am.
Oh no, that's where Croxix the Devourer stabbed me on the year of 912.
Ah, no, the single shard of his blade was still there, and now it's been driven deeper into my heart.
Yes, because you stab people in the back through their hearts.
Exactly.
Well,
and the shoe was poison.
I shouldn't have eaten it.
This is an interesting conversation. Thank you.
So you make your way out of the cavern.
Yes, please. I've had enough of this place right now.
You've only spent a year here. In fact, one wonders what you've eaten.
That's the thing, that you feel a little peckish now, but nothing, and which is weird because if you spend the year, you should be you should be dead.
I mean, I would think it's weirder that somebody who's known as Braith the Butcher is using words like peckish.
What is unusual is I was only in here for maybe about a minute before Master Halpert showed up.
That's very weird that you started asking immediately what year it was, if you thought you were only here for a minute.
Well, actually, Halpert asked me what year it was.
No, but you started
asking his normal address. Like,
you in fact started asking who the commander was. You've only been in here a minute, man.
Anyway.
Holes in your logic, you see.
So which way are you going to take? You're going to go back through the Great Tree, or try to find somewhere else?
Well, I mean, we accomplished the mission. We just head back.
Okay.
Well, Halpert should not go back to the Kobold Village, And I'm going to pretend to them like he's dead and will never return. Therefore, we should go ahead and just not go back that way right now.
Well, I don't see any benefit to going back to them, so...
Okay. As you go back...
I want to go see the kobolds!
To the main entrance, you realize that there are several bones that have been left. 3 or 4. The minutiae of bones that have been picked clean by perhaps spiders or other large creatures. So, yeah. This has been...
That's fine.
Also,
there should be close to 1,000 bones there. The fact there's only 7 or several, that's fine.
Yeah, Braith, as Braith said about the circle turned off, but it's still there. If you, you know.
Is there any way to shut that down or close it? I probably
Why?
should have asked that before we leave.
Cool new hidden base if we ever need one.
Uh,
How many people have their guild headquarters in the ethereal plane, right?
I wouldn't mind going and exploring at some point. Like, take a couple of vacation days, head off to the ethereal plane, see what's up.
Need some time to think? Don't want to
Right?
starve in the meantime? Hit up the ethereal plane.
Is it possible to do a religion check to close the circle?
It is possible, yes.
Religion?
Yes, because clerics also summon creatures and commune with other planes.
I rolled a 12 in an attempt to try and pray the circle away.
It's more simple that you know that you can just break the circle. It's in stone, so as long as you have something hard.
Oh, in that case, I take my great axe. and
I will
split the
prevent
stones
him
in
from
half.
doing so with my body if need be.
Oh,
I'll come kick him on the chins.
Gentlemen, I don't think this circle should stay here.
I think it's fine. I, in fact, see great use for it.
All right, well, you go on ahead. I will put my axe away.
Well, why don't you do that up ahead?
Very well. I walk up ahead and put my axe away.
Right, and I'll just slowly follow from behind you. Now that you've proven a level of distrust exists.
I will just shake my head a little bit and whisper to him. It's like, he's like this all the time. There's no winning.
So now you go back to the surface.
I like that we turned around, went back, then come back again.
I mean, this happened when you guys
Well,
were...
we officially finally actually leave for real this time.
It's real. Yeah, so you're now in the main map. I hope everybody can see it.
Yep. Did we actually change hexes, or was the mine actually still in the same hex?
Yeah, it's still in the same
Yeah, it was
hex.
under the tree, you don't remember?
Okay.
They're nearby, right? Now that you come in, let me show you the mine. Which is...
Yeah, new pin incoming.
Oh, that's cute.
There you go. So they're nearby.
Hey.
A couple of miles separate, you know.
The Great Deep Mine.
Yeah, in a way it is.
Well,
This
just
is a great-
covering up part of the tree, that's all. It's
Yeah, it's
great.
it's
The tree part's
the
gone.
great
so
tree and the deep mine, yeah.
the Great
Right.
Deep Mine.
So this is you. This is a group token. So every time you're navigating on the map, I put pins in places that you already been. And if you discover something, like you had an ambush with robbers or met the beekeeper, then there you go.
This is very Kingmaker. I like it.
Very much so, yes.
Is
I know,
that new Pathfinder game?
Mm-hmm.
I started playing that.
It's long.
It is.
I'm still
That
waiting
is-
to get
Yup.
back to Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm.
Druids.
I love-
Druids are in it now.
Oh, are they? Did the update happen?
I thought it did. I'm assuming. Anyway, by the time this video goes out, they will be.
So are you going to go directly back to town?
Yeah. I mean,
This-
we've accomplished task. Let's go.
Right, it is, I think, time for us to go.
It takes you about a day and a half because it's about 5 hours across HX. So
I mean, and Braithier has to, account for his derogation of duty. Some call it desertion.
Then I will, if they believe I actually deserted, then I will face that punishment.
I mean, you've
As
been
they
off
feel.
mission for over a year now, not reporting in. I don't know what they could possibly consider that to be.
I am sure if I explain it to Sir Davin? Yeah, Sir Davin, he will understand what occurred.
I have no doubt that is probably true. For you are more important than you should be.
Oh, Gar, leave him be. Buddy, Braith, I'll stand up for you with your CO, okay? I found you in that little pit there.
I didn't know for a second how to phrase, you're a player character in a world full of NPCs. Other than, you are more important than you should be.
I appreciate your zeal there, Master. Do you actually? I assume I have his name now at this point, Master Gar. But
I mean, you said it 5 times, and I've told you it 0 times. So let's go with that.
Told him it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I appreciate your zeal, Master Gar, but unfortunately, I am not important. I am just here as a vessel to try and bring good to the world.
Oh, come now. Normal people don't get nicknames like the Butcher. Typically, that's reserved for villains.
Do you have a nickname, Master Gar?
Nope.
I call him Gar the Long-Winded.
My hope is that if you ever do get one, that it is one that is favorable for yourself.
I honestly do not care.
Gar the Vegetarian.
Gar the Flatulent.
Gar
I'm
the
sorry, I
obtuse.
meant flatulent.
So as
very weird, very
Raphael.
weird camp conversation. I'm sorry.
What?
Go
Gar,
was that?
he does machines.
on.
Give me a second.
Okay.
You gotta admit, though, the Butcher is really a villain's nickname.
That's why I picked it.
Welcome to the insanity.
It was on purpose.
And then immediately said, I don't care about nicknames.
Well, no, it's for the character's backstory. It's actually on purpose. So
I like how you're the character who's like, I would sacrifice civilization for knowledge, and you're immediately skeptical of other people's motives.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the same time, I'm not going around telling people I'm the Butcher. I mean, I hear of the Butcher, my first thought is that character from The Expanse. The Butcher.
My first thought is Diablo 1.
Right. Yep.
Just immediately spooked by it as a kid.
Yeah.
I actually stole the idea from like an old TV show. I'm trying to remember, it was a sci-fi show. I think it was British.
Which one?
I don't know, but it was like a character called Babin the Butcher. But
I like 3 choices for British sci-fi, so it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
Well, Doctor Who, Red Dwarf, and what?
Special episodes of Blackadder?
Okay, fair enough.
There were no sci-fi
Like
episodes
7.
of Blackadder. Those were all history.
The movie.
Oh, yeah, well, technically only in that they had a time machine. They didn't go to the future, though. They only went to the past.
Oh, dude.
They went to the
So
future,
that
that's
automatically
great.
means it's not sci-fi because they only went to the past.
But anyway,
Consider my silence a witting retort.
I basically I stole the name from that, and then I conjured up the backstory out of it. So it's kind of the weird idea from it because it just sounds good. Braith the Butcher.
That's how you do it, man. Work backwards from the name.
Names are literally the hardest part for every single character I've ever made. It's like, yeah, I know everything about them. What are they called?
I mean, my
Die
character's
Hard.
name is 3 letters. It wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Yours is 3 letters. Your
Yeah,
character's
and I
name is a
made it-
name you've used before.
Exactly. I made it up once several years ago, and I just keep that name forever now.
I think this is your 3rd or 4th kicks at this point.
I
Yeah,
think so.
I always have to like make up a new name, new character because it's like I'm acting, so you know.
I mean, to be fair, Gar is an example name of Turtle from the book. So
Is it really?
yeah, it was just the most. I look at Gar, and for some reason, I think of Superman 2. You know, Zod and those characters, names like that.
See, my first thought was it's short for Garfield.
Well, I also had a Ironclaw character named Damon Gar, but it had
Yes.
the umlaut symbols above it.
I remember that. I believe that was.
I
long
never
time
played
ago.
them, but I did share the sheet a bunch of times.
Yeah.
The gorilla with the motto "Let's you and him fight."
Mhm.
Wow.
I
Well-
like that motto.
That was a lot of your characters back then.
Yeah,
I think you guys leveled. Everybody gets 1,015 XP.
Oh shit!
Ooh, sexy.
Wait, individually, 1,015?
Yeah.